Now we'll start with the 8th chapter, that is cell, the unit of life. So first we'll introduce what is cell. We all know what is cell. A cell, when defined, a cell is a fundamental structural and functional unit of all living organisms. Okay, like we say that atoms are there which makes matter. Okay, atom is the smallest unit when we are talking about matter. So when we are talking about any human being or any living organism, cell is a fundamental structural and functional unit of all the living organisms. Now, and the cell was introduced. Okay, so Robert Hooke discovered cell. What he saw that cork cells from the bark of a tree, when observed under microscope, has this honeycomb like structure. So this was nothing but these small units, the square, the cube like structures present were nothing but the cells. Okay, so in this way, by observing the cork cell, cork is a dead part of the plant, so by observing that, he discovered that any organism like the plant or the tree he was talking about was made up of small subunits which are having which together form a honeycomb like structure. Okay, now Antony van Leeuwenhoek first observed the small cell, that is the microbial cell. Now the invention of compound and electron microscopes reveal the structural details of the cell. This Robert Hooke just observed a honeycomb like structure, but he was not able to see the structures inside the cell. Okay, but after the introduction or invention of the compound and electron microscope, structural details of the cell were revealed. This is a diagram of the electron microscope. Now, what is cell theory? Malthius Schleiden observed that plants are composed of cells. Okay. Theodor Schwann reported that cells had a thin outer layer, that is plasma membrane. He also found that plant cells have cell wall. He proposed the hypothesis that plants and animals are composed of cells and products of cells. Okay, so this individual, this was a particular, we cannot say invention, it was a theory. Okay, so Malthius Schleiden was a botanist, so he was doing work on plants and he observed that plants are composed of cell. And Theodor Schwann was a zoologist. Okay, and he proposed that animals and plants are composed of cells and products of cell. So the cell theory was given by Schleiden and Schwann. Okay, now a particular statement was added by Rudolf Virchow, and he explained that cells divided and cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. Okay, hominis cellulae cellula. He modified the cell theory. Okay, they gave what? They told that they are composed of cells and animals and plants are composed of cells and products of cell. Rudolf Virchow explained that the cells divided and the new cells are formed from the pre-existing cells. Okay, so all the statements of the cell theory were all living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells, and all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. Okay, so all living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells, and all cells arise from the pre-existing cells. So who all contributed? Schleiden and Schwann, that is Malthius Schleiden, Theodor Schwann and Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Virchow gave a very important point in the cell theory, that is all cells will only arise from a pre-existing cell. Now when we come to an overview of cell, we all know that it is made up of different organelles. So all cells contain cytoplasm, which is a semi-fluid matrix where cellular activities and chemical reactions occur. This keeps the cell in living state. Okay, so here you can see this is the cytoplasm. The whole light blue color liquid, that is semi-fluid, is nothing but the cytoplasm. They contain ribosomes. All the non-membrane bound organelles found in cytoplasm, chloroplast, mitochondria, and on rough endoplasmic reticulum are nothing but ribosomes. Okay, they are not bounded by a membrane. Okay, so so non-membrane bound organelle are ribosomes, and these ribosomes can be present in chloroplast, mitochondria, and specifically rough endoplasmic reticulum. The smallest cell is mycoplasma, that is 0.3 micrometer in length. Largest isolated single cell is the egg of ostrich. Longest cell is nerve cell. Size of bacteria is around 3 to 5 micrometer. Okay, and human RBC is 7 micrometer in diameter. So when we are talking about the cell, we say that this is the nerve cell, okay, and this is the egg of ostrich, and these are the small bacteria. Okay, so the smallest cell is the mycoplasma, largest isolated cell is the ostrich, egg of ostrich, longest cell is nerve cell. The size of bacteria and human RBC is given. Based on the functions, shape of the cells may be disc-like. They can be disc-like, polygonal, columnar, cuboid, thread-like, or irregular. You can see different types of cells present here. So they can be thread-like, columnar, disc-like, polygonal, and irregular. Okay. Now we come to the prokaryotic cell. Now the prokaryotic cell, they have non-membrane bound nucleus and organelles. I told you that when the nuclear membrane is not present in the cell, it is called nucleoid, and the cell is the prokaryotic cell. Pro means primitive and karyon means nucleus. These include bacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasma and PP yellow, that is pleuropneumonia-like organism. They are generally smaller and multiply more rapidly than the eukaryotic cells. They vary in shape and size. Okay. So they generally, we can say that prokaryotic cells have no membrane-bound nucleus and organelles. They include bacteria, blue-green algae, mycoplasma, PP yellow. They are generally smaller and multiply more rapidly than the eukaryotic cell, and they vary in shape and size. Now bacteria generally have 4 basic shapes. You have to remember this. Okay. First one is rod-like, that is bacillus. Second is spherical, that is coccus. Then it is comma shape, that is vibrio, and next is the spirillum. Okay, so bacillus is short rods, you can see here in the diagram, and also specifically here. Okay, then it comes coccus, so they are spherical in shape. Then comes the vibrio, comma shaped. Okay, this vibrio comma shaped, and last is the spirillum, that is a spiral shaped. Okay, so these are the 4 basic shapes. The bacteria have 4 basic shapes, that is bacillus, coccus, vibrio, and spirillum. Okay, bacillus, rods, coccus, spherical ball-like structure, vibrio comma shaped, and spirillum, that is spiral. Okay. Now when we talk about the cell organelles, they contain prokaryotic cell contains cell envelopes. Okay, it can be capsule, okay, which is made up of other things, slime layer, mesosome and chromatophores are there, pigment producing organelles, nucleoid, that is the inner part here. Okay, flagella, which helps them in the movement, pili and fimbria have other roles, ribosomes, and inclusion bodies. So all these are given here. This is the cell envelope. Okay, cell envelope has you can say that capsule can be there, plasma membrane will also be called as cell envelope. Okay, cell wall is also there, This is the nucleoid region. See here, there no membrane is present here. These are the pili. This is the flagella, which helps in the locomotion. Okay, this light blue color is the cytoplasm. This is the nucleoid. Ribosomes are here, which are non-membrane bound organelles. Okay, so plasma membrane is the green one. You can see here the green boundary. Then cell wall is the yellow boundary, and the orange boundary is nothing but the capsule. And sometimes slime layers are also present. So when we come to the cell envelope, it is chemically complex protective covering, and it is made up of 3 tightly bound layers, that is glycocalyx, cell wall, and plasma membrane. Okay, glycocalyx is the outer layer, this red one you can say, then yellow one comes the cell membrane and the plasma membrane. Okay, so it is a chemically complex protective covering. When anything is present on the outer side, it helps in protection. Okay, we already learned in the 7th chapter that epidermal tissues indirectly or directly in both inside and outside the body help in the protecting purpose, help in the protection. Okay, so it is made up of 3 tightly bound layers, that is glycocalyx, cell wall, plasma membrane. Now when we talk about the glycocalyx, it is the outer layer. Okay, it is its composition and thickness vary in different bacteria. If it is a very loose covering, we call it as slime layer, that is the loose sheath, and if it is thick and tough, we call it as a capsule. Okay, so when we are talking about the glycocalyx, the outer layer, glycocalyx is the outermost layer. Its composition and thickness vary in different bacteria. Some will have a loose sheath, which is the slime layer, which we call as slime layer, and when it is thick and tough, we call it as capsule. Now comes the cell wall. Now the cell wall is a middle layer seen in all prokaryotes. It gives shape to the cell and provides a structural support to prevent the bacteria from bursting or collapsing. Okay, so the cell wall is a middle layer seen in all prokaryotes, and it gives shape to the cell and provides structural support to prevent the bacteria from bursting or collapsing during the osmosis. Okay, so this cell wall will help in the protection purpose, and it will not allow the organism to collapse in certain osmotic conditions. Okay, then comes the plasma membrane. It is the inner layer. We talked about the whole layer, outer layer. Okay, that is a cell envelope. It was made up of what? It was made up of outer layer was what? The capsule layer or the slime layer. Then it was the cell wall, and then inside was the plasma membrane. So plasma membrane is the inner layer. It is the semi-permeable in nature and interacts with outside, and this is structurally similar to that in eukaryotes. This plasma membrane is semi-permeable, and it will allow the movement of certain ions and molecules across the membrane. Okay, and this is very structurally similar to that present in the eukaryotes. Okay, so based on the types of the cell envelopes and response to Gram staining, bacteria can be divided into 2 types, Gram positive and Gram negative. Okay, and this staining was developed by Christian Gram. Okay, so he told that based on the specific staining procedure which was devised by Christian Gram, bacteria can be divided into Gram positive and Gram negative. So the bacteria after staining who take up and retain the Gram stain. So Gram stain is the violet stain. Okay, so the organisms who will take up and retain the Gram stain will be called as Gram positive, and the other organisms who do not retain the stain are the Gram negative. So here you can see in the diagram, this is a violet color, so they are Gram positive. Okay, and these are the Gram negative bacteria. Now comes the mesosome and the chromatophores, that is the membranous structure. So mesosome, it is formed by the enfolding of the plasma membrane. You can see here in the diagram, this is the enfolding of the plasma membrane. Okay, these are mesosome, and these include vesicles can be formed by this method, tubules can be formed, and lamella can also be formed. Now, what is the function of the mesosome? For cell formation, for DNA or chromosome replication, for distribution of chromosome to daughter cells, for respiration and secretion, and to increase the surface area of plasma membrane and the enzymatic content. Okay, so it is helpful in the cell wall formation, in replication purpose, for distribution of chromosome to the daughter cell, for respiration and secretion, and to increase the surface area of the plasma membrane and the enzymatic content. Okay, now comes the chromatophores. These chromatophores are the pigment containing membranous enfoldings in some prokaryotes like cyanobacteria. So you can say that this is a pigmented bacteria, and this pigment is given by what? Given by the particular chromatophore present in this cyanobacteria. Okay, now comes the nucleoid. It is formed by non-membranous naked circular genomic DNA. Okay, many bacteria have small circular DNA, that is plasmid, outside the genomic DNA. It gives some unique phenotypic characters, example resistance to antibiotics to the bacteria. Okay, see, this is the nucleoid part. Okay, and small round circular things are present here away from the nucleoid, away from the genetic material. So any extra chromosomal DNA present inside the cell is called the plasmid. Okay, they are this is not included in the nucleoid, it is away from there, so they are called extra chromosomal DNA, that is the plasmid, and they give particular phenotypic characters in this bacteria, that is the antibiotic resistance to the bacteria. Okay, now comes the flagella. So these are the thin filamentous extensions from the cell wall of the motile bacteria. Their number and arrangement are varied in different bacteria. Okay, bacteria flagellum has three parts, that is filament, hook, and basal body. The filament is the longest portion and extends from the cell surface to the outside. Okay, so see here, you can see in the diagram which is given on the extreme right side, you can see the basal body, that is the bidirectional rotary motor, hook, and the filament. Okay, so it is like this. This is the basal body, this is the hook, this will be the plasma membrane of that, and this is the filament, long one. So flagella are nothing but the thin filamentous extensions from the cell wall of the motile bacteria. The number and arrangement are varied in different bacteria. So when it is saying that these are extension from the cell wall, so this membrane I've drawn here is nothing but the cell wall. Bacterium flagella has three parts, that is filament, hook, and basal body. So this is the filament, this is the hook, and this is the basal. This is the basal body, this is hook, and this is the filament. Now filament is the longest portion and extends from the cell surface to the outside. Okay, now comes the pili and fimbria. Now these are the surface structures that have no role in the motility. Okay, but they have different roles. Now pili, or singular we call pilus, are elongated tubular structure made of special protein, that is pillin. And fimbria are small bristle-like fibers sprouting out. You can see the this is the sex pilus. It will help in the mechanism which is the conjugation, which helps in the transfer of the genetic material from one bacteria to the other. Okay, now the fimbria are the small brush-like fibers sprouting out from the cell. These all are the fimbria. They help to attach the bacterium to rocks in streams and to host the tissue. So this fimbria helps in the attachment of the bacteria. Okay, now specific type of ribosomes are present inside the prokaryotic cell. These are associated with plasma membrane. They are about 15 nanometer by 20 nanometer in size, and they are made up of two subunits, that is 50S and 30S, and together they make the 70S. So you have to remember that the prokaryotes present in the ribosome present in the prokaryotes are of 70S type, and in eukaryote it is of 80S type. Okay, now what is S? S is the sedimentation coefficient, a measure of density and size. Okay, so you have to remember that the ribosome present in prokaryotic cell are of 70S, that is 2 subunits are there, 50 and 30S. Okay, and this S is nothing but the sedimentation coefficient, and it is a measure of density and the size. Now what is the function of ribosome? Now ribosomes help in the protein synthesis. Okay, they are site of translation, that is a protein synthesis. Several ribosomes may attach to a single mRNA to form a chain called polyribosomes. See here, you can see in this diagram. Okay, many mRNA are there. This is the green line here is the mRNA, and the ribosome are attaching themselves to this green line. Okay, and they are forming what? Polyribosomes or polysome, and protein is synthesized. See, this is the protein which is synthesized here. This is the protein which is synthesized here. Okay, so whenever this is the mRNA and the ribosomes with two subunits get attached to it, it is called polyribosome or polysome. Okay, and this helps in the synthesis of protein. So this is the protein synthesized by this. So ribosomes of the polysome translate the mRNA into the proteins. Now we come to the inclusion body. These are the non-membranous stored reserve materials seen freely in the cytoplasm of the prokaryotic cell. Okay, now examples are, they can be phosphate granules. These are the inclusion bodies. Okay, these can be the phosphate granules, synophycean granules, glycogen granules, gas vacuoles. Okay, gas vacuoles are found in blue, green and purple and green photosynthetic bacteria. Okay, so we talked about basic components which are present in prokaryotic cell. So the basic components were the cell envelope. Okay, in cell envelope we saw that it is made up of glycocalyx, cell wall and plasma membrane. Glycocalyx has had two types, slime layer and capsule. Then came the cell wall, and then the plasma membrane on the cell membrane. Okay, then we saw that two types of bacteria are there, gram positive and gram negative. Then we also saw mesosome and chromatophores. Mesosome are nothing but the inclusion body. Mesosome are nothing but the enfoldings of the plasma membrane, and they help in forming vesicle, tubules and lamella. Okay, see here I can say this is the enfolding. Now this enfolding will enter, and there will be merging here, and it will form a vesicle in this way. Okay, now functions were given. Now chromatophores were the pigment containing membranous enfoldings present in the bacteria. Nucleoid had two important things: nucleoid, which was having the genomic DNA, and the other plasmid, which was the non-genomic DNA, that is non-chromosomal DNA. Then came the flagella. Flagella helped in the movement purpose, or it provided motility to the bacteria, and it had three types, that is basal body, hook and filament. Okay, then came the pili and the fimbriae. They are the surface structures. Okay, pili help in the transport of this is not given here, but I will tell you, they help in the transport of DNA from one bacteria to other. Okay, like this is a bacteria, and like this a conjugation canal will be formed. This is other bacteria. Okay, so this is the union of two pili. Fimbria helped in the attachment purpose. Then ribosomes were present. Specific ribosomes present were the 70S type. Okay, also the ribosome helped in the movement. Ribosomes helped in the protein synthesis, and then came the inclusion bodies. So this was all about the prokaryotic cell, and initially we studied the cell theory.